I didn't think I would be making this video, but I feel like I should, at the very least. Now, this video should be a quick one, and this is not a true review, it's more so my thoughts and feelings to not just the movie itself, but a technical response to all the other reviews of the movie that I've seen. And I'll say this much. It is pretty much overhated, and I'll give my reasons why. But to be honest, watching some other reviews, I can only find at least one, two, or possibly three videos that were talking in either neutral or positive light for the movie, and everything else was pretty much negative. And I don't see anybody talking about the good that came out of this movie. Now again, this is not a review. I will not be talking about that. I'm just talking to my thoughts and feelings about the movie and how what other people said. But I think my feelings towards this movie and to possibly other people are exactly the same as this comment that I wrote down on a different video. If you can find the video, points to you. But yeah, I'm just going to be rereading this, but also I'm going to be modifying it a bit because I didn't say everything I want to say in that comment. And you can tell right now that I'm going basically just first time recording, no script, like I usually do for most of my other videos. So here we go. I do think that Kung Fu Panda 4 is the weakest of the movies. I still found it enjoyable. Sure, it doesn't live up to the trilogy, but I feel like it didn't need to. However, the movie's shortcomings can be explained if the movie had better pacing. For me, personally, it is a movie that can be here but is not needed. In terms of the negativity that people say about Kung Fu Panda 4, I can see their points, and I do agree that if the movie had had this or fixed this or have done this, it would have been better. However, we should maybe take a step back and see technically the bigger picture or the smaller picture, I should say. Let's go back to the few movies before Kung Fu Panda 4. Let's just look at the second and third. How are you going to top the third? Which the third already gives us a satisfying conclusion and a conclusion to Poe's character. The second movie was basically unanimously the best of the whole trilogy. How can the fourth one top that? It's very hard, especially since the fourth movie has a lower, and I mean extremely lower budget than the other movies. But surprisingly to me, even with a very low budget, it feels like it was made with the same budget. I think you can tell that most of its budget came from the animation and current voice actors that they have. But, of course, seeing every other video saying that Kung Fu Panda 4 is a disappointment, I was worried that I was wrong for liking the movie because I love the original trilogy for the same exact reasons that everybody else does. But my opinions on Kung Fu Panda 4 aren't strongly negative or strongly shared with others. And I cannot say that it was a big disappointment after hearing them because those, to me, sounds more like nitpicks. They don't really kind of criticize the movie in most ways. About, I would say, only half of the reasons, in much as I heard, were that bad. Like, where are the Furious Five? I think it can be. I think it's already explained that the Furious Five were not there inverse wise, and for the meta reason, it's because they have a lower budget, so they cannot really reprise older roles from voice actors like Jackie Chan as Monkey and the rest of the Furious Five. They're A-list actors. I don't think we could actually use that honestly, so they had to choose wisely. And same thing with basically the new main character. I think she was fine. Thank God that the character is not as annoying as the other times, but she was actually really fine in this one. Okay. Because of, I was thinking when going through the theater, like when watching Kung Fu Panda 4, is like, how are they gonna top the third movie, let alone the second? Because it already gives us a satisfying ending, and nothing's gonna top the second one. So I came in to the movie theater with very low expectations, just only expecting Poe's big adventure, and that's exactly what I got. Unfortunately, I think people were wanting more, and I cannot blame them. For a series, a franchise that has gone above and beyond almost every single installment. Technically, the third was a bit worse than the second, but it did technically step up in some regards. In this movie, it didn't exactly step up in anything, but in my opinion, it did step up with the music and the visuals in a certain way. But yeah, I can understand why people have bigger expectations with the franchise, but if you come back down and look and see that story wise, lore wise, Kung Fu Panda already finished on the third. There was really no need for more world building. Possibly there can be, and we have the shows to prove it, but it doesn't really need to expand in anything else. Why couldn't a movie just be a spotlight for just a single character? Like for example, The Furious Five. They have much less screen time in the second movie compared to the first, and they even have less screen time in the third. Saying like where are they? I think we should all think that Poe is the main person in the story. It is called Kung Fu Panda after all. So we don't really need more characters. But that is just one example. But I would also agree that I wish that the Furious Five were here, especially more screen time for like, Monkey and Viper and possibly Mantis and Crane. Because I think Tigers has technically enough screen time, but hey, more of her, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, it's understandable why people hated the movie, but they're mostly nitpicks. I think saying that this franchise was the biggest disappointment in the franchise, like this installment, is like a bit stretching. It is not that bad. It's just very exaggerated. Do I wish that the movie was better? Yes, definitely, wholeheartedly. And I bet you that everybody and all the fans of Kung Fu Panda could give like 100 different ways to make the movie better. That's guaranteed. But the movie is truly very harmless to the franchise. Harmless. Okay? It did not ruin anything. The way that the movie would ruin the franchise would be that it changes the Kung Fu Panda formula and flipped it over its head. I think we can technically say that there are a few franchises out there that already ruined their own franchise because of an installment that actually changed everything drastically. Only a few can save themselves. For Kung Fu Panda, I mean, with three hit bangers, I think we could at least afford one dud. But here's the thing, the movie was fine on its own, a decent installment to the series, to the franchise. But again, and I would agree, we do not need a fourth. The trilogy was fine. We could have maybe used more shows, possibly, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, but I think that's kind of all what I want to say. I don't think that this movie is a big disappointment. And you might have realized that throughout this video, the picture has not changed one bit. That is because this is more so a vocal thing. I just want to share my opinion. And I'm hoping that by the time this video is uploaded, um, it's not still the hate Kung Fu Panda 4 phase that YouTube is on right now, because I just want to share my voice out there, but I don't want to get that much attention. That's about it. I just want to share my opinion. But please, let me know down below what are your thoughts and feelings on Kung Fu Panda 4. Do you think it is not the weakest of the four? Because to be honest, it is the weakest of the four, but I would like to hear your opinions and your thoughts on why it is a bit better, because I'll be surprised if it is better. But I just want to see if you guys can find any positives to the movie. And I'll say one positive right now, and you cannot take this positive, okay? So here's the thing. The best part of the movie is Jack Black singing Hit Me Baby One More Time. That is the best part of the movie, no question about it, and I do agree that every single Kung Fu Panda fan could agree with that, because we love to hear Jack Black sing. Okay, now, you cannot use that one, just give me another positive reason, because I can tell you that much, that you can find positive in technicalities, you can just say whatever you want and why, which of parts of the movie that are positive, because there are a lot of positives in the movie, there's not just all negatives, I can say that much, but in the end, again, movie wasn't needed, but it was a decent entry to the franchise. You can say that this movie is truly overhated. Yeah. Also, if this movie apparently like succeeds in the box office, so you can blame me for that. I watched it at least 20 times. That's mostly like, that's less than how much I watched the other three movies, but 20 times is still a lot. I'll say that much.